Assalamu alaikum Gambia. Assalamu alaikum friends of the Gambia. I'll be kontong. I'll tola and I'll kontong. August 28, 2024. Najang America B. Right now the time is 9:37 a.m. and I believe in the Gambia it would be 4:37 p.m. O kamalang albe kontong, al tola an al kontongol, aning albetara dinkira aminto. Be na conversation onying, mba alala hanibi, the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, mi alonko a safeta, walate mi alonko a fota, kaje ko Gambia o Constitution onying, now against 2026, wati nin nata jam fonga fodorom. Kal hakilo bulandi dorom, nyim programo nying, nka fole ko the vent dunde, walam programo te mi alon ko molu ka kumandiro ke, ye hakilol kafunde, discourse no nyina ka jube Gambia banko ala ko beta ka nyame. O kamala, I call it as coming the vent. We verify, we examine, we narrate your stories, and also we transmit the information to the people. Ndedam mata kenola, but this vent fanan, niajemba kela, Walam Nyentiko is the highest Supreme Court of the land under the Public Opinion Act. So ibn ajala nying adala sembo wataf bake fanka katambi Gambia Supreme Court of the Supreme Court of the Gambia. Mone akendi because mol mi ya long ko be lamoyro kala jang on this program called the Vent. Walla bekala jojolti, walla bekala jurilti, and wallal fanambena kala prosecutolti. Waldum moja malelti wallam Gambia dingolti. Gambia dingol dunde hakilima balla moyti londiti ballal fanam moyti and walmu mollelti mi alon ko kuobe laare nyaaw nyaadrong etol maril fanam fon yalon o kamala mbal bismillah indla alla programo to memmo the Vent nsa keno mbenga dengala nim momo la fita droibe Facebook live nyingi be invitation ola sen nanye la fita call in talale bari due to some problem ngaje ko na computer nying a technical problem also din na wala tinna later demanding for like 7 minutes bari mbari Gambian call jannum betala jannum ka dun constitution o nyim fanam fonkono lafita ka diamo ke fanna la miya lonko about the Russian Petroleum Syndicate milia lonko inata Gambia bankoka nyulmu company ti miya lonko ebe operate kan Gambia banko kanne andung wati janna hani bi etol maril janni be mutalago ilawo clandestine petroleum scandalo nying enen Gambia dingol lel kaake anata ke ibuka tax fananjo o tax jo bali anyim banko kan o ya kende the Financial Intelligence Unit dabulata kuo kono FIU milka investigation o ke kuola milialon ko crime bal milka ke bankol kan so nyingam petroleum iso nyi Russian syndicate ol mil ba kono ye Gambia dingol lel soto ando nyul natale ebe petroleum kurungo ebe wala offload kan na banko kan fo wati jang komi nga fo nyame buka tax jo wo muluwa tinyaleti Gambia la sarto tinyalem andu ngay na Gambia molu fanan na business o nyim fanan tinyala milialon ko ebe operate kan Gambia banko kan bari molu mimbe nyim petroleum scandal o Russian petroleum scandal kuo nyin kono mfangol la doku lalem mbaringol lem dolu faal lemu dol dingol lem dolu dol lemu dol la musol lemu ite min keta Gam Petroleum la managing director Yoro Jalo ate fanam fango wole keta moti miya lonko aye allegedly the first lady of the Republic of the Gambia min keta 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒏 Barrow wole wo introduce to the Russian Petroleum Cartel Syndicate onyilya o Russian Cartel Syndicate onyin komi nga faale nyamen ko di bale derive ta nyin ko kono nga kalamuta informational toko company ba saba foreign company len milia lon ko be nyin crude oil petroleum onyi ba nati kan Gambia banko kan bari o oil onyin anyanta kata Ghana banko kan bari niaja manfuta Ghana banko kan itolu inata labande ka be jinde Gambia banko kan ye agentol ta milia lon ko be marale nyin kuolla ka jube Gambia o fe nata je fenkuru o fenkurung aka keno Gambia banko kan so wol marilu o JT company la wati JT Energy ate register ta nun Gambia banko kan bari momi alon ko amari dunta kuo kono e afanke dikoiti on behalf of the First Lady of the Republic of the Gambia 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒏 Barrow wole keta Ibrahima Jabite so nyenyin sequence o jube ibajala ko from the managing director Yoro Jalo wole introduction okay to the Russian company minka illegal production okay Gambia banko kan through 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒏 Barrow 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒏 Barrow beje as the individual mi alonko as a cover bari mollel bate fanan ni molte ma milia alonko ka dilo ke Gambia banko ka andung allegedly wokwol min be foda nga lonne ko nyin Ibrahima Jabi min keta agento te between JT Energy company anin 𝒕𝒂𝒏 Barrow te ma anin Russian company nyin mo min be nyin dilo kono e be certain cutlass soto nyanta ka min soto ji wo cot soltending bering the clandestine Russian petroleum company ben na banko ka be operate kan mi ya lon ko tax fang buka jonna man sakundaka andu wo kuonyin ibina jala ay so many lost like samba na Gambia government na man sakunda kon ka jube ko Gambia nyanta ka revenue min collect because of nyolum meta kanne iba kan andu ibuka tax jo Gambia man sakunda nyin kon. The danger to that also again not only to the loss of economy to the Gambia government nyin Russian syndicate petroleum company nyin again min nataka ke walam nyenti ko environmentally ayen tolla dulal pollute le kendele ko pollution o ka cause na banko kan bawo nyulbe na balle kono ebe petroleum jawo eba dundi kan na banko kan eba di kan na banko mola na drive olu anin na modolu milke muna fanyen tulola wolka wollel te ka dundi la motol kono andunga kende ko moto jama fanam fangol tinyata hanatara moto kutole nata Gambia yenyen tulu kurungo ta yake akono dron amulunta ko akatinyale o fanamo another disadvantage nyen Russian petroleum cartelolu mil nata Gambia banko kam ye main cost to the economy of the Gambia to the people, ordinary citizens like me and you, so many people, milia lonko ye la motol sang, ye nati je ka essence kurungol milke akuo kono, abuka motol sima yandi Gambia bankoka. O fanam fangote dammante, aya kendile ko, intol maril milia lonko the health standard milbe Gambia bankoka, ay o fanan nasindila ajendi koma. Niye o fanam fango bejube, nyulu, imeta operate laji. At the end of the day, this criminal syndicate la operation o meta la kabirin to 2023. Ebe la kuol kekan. So it all Russian agent told Mr. Clement wole nata ke agento te mi alonko abe operate kan between the Russian people and ning nyim molu milbe operate kan Gambia kana ke la project o be rescue because they have realized that a certain failure le soto ila doku o nyim fanna nyin kono. Bari, inata kodi ba offer to that Mr. Clement fanana. O Mr. Clement mimbe o dula nyento. At the end of the day, o fananata funte aye offer nying accept because ni ajube nying company sabolu milia lonko e bebe operate ka nying crude oil saga nying kono through the Russian cartel o anyanta kata Ghana le komi ngafo nyame bare Ghana amamfuta no woto ya jende Gambia ka e bela business ol kekang through na mansakunda doku la bal Gambia dingolu milia lonko e nyanta ka luwa bunye ka horoma bare man woke at the end of the day ene nyimmo kurungule dilo ta ya dada fo inate ye muta o kuol nyin kono andum ngalon ne beri ye muta kuol nyin kono Russian company ning memu apology FZC wo register ta Gambia banko kanne just June of 2024 beri ye muta kola but before ye muta nyulbe operate kanne clandestinely in the Gambia tax buka jo yen health condition o batande environmentally and also it can na basic life soltinya through tulusi fa nyaadi le wala essence fa nyaadi le ka dun na motol kono and not only that but private citizen ol milbe marale wo petroleum kuol nyenna wol fanang competition will become very dormant for them e la business o man na katamano ando nga kibaro nyim fanan soto kaje eko Justice Jete wolebe marale nying case nyin nanum biri ye nyim mol mutanu. Financial Intelligence Unit biri ye nyin Russian cartel muta ebe operate kan Gambia because Russian cartel wol man Gambia long. Enen Gambia dingol lel kona after coming afale nyame. Gam Petroleum la managing director minkata Yoro Jaloti aning wole Fatuba Baro introduced to this Russian cartel people all. At the end of the day Ibina jela Fatuba Barola introduction to the Russian cartel, Bari company Ming inate ka faeko 𝒕𝒕𝒕𝒑𝒑𝒔. Wo fana miye wo Fatuba Baroni wo represent wolemu Ibrahima Jabidi. And Ibrahima Jabi wolemu agento nyindi. So ibina jela Ibrahima Jabi ate fanambe wo 𝒕𝒕𝒔 petroleum nyen nim Fatuba Baro temal. At the end of the day, bring ebe la nyen kuol kekan clandestine like I said. Along nibe kurung kekan offer lel kasoto momo nyanta ka min soto. But at the end of the day, ni wo offer nyen man na soto nyen don ka amira lako ye min din na doyata bakele. So now I will demand for more. Imagine you la operation Beribe operate can clandestinely without paying tax to the country. $3 million ye wo kodo nying ye wo soto at one time. So ibinajala they caught me along with the managing director of Gam Petroleum Yoro Jalo atela caught nyin dama obetala 600,000 probably every month. Ka wo soto out of that $3 million dollar deal on your minketaje. So as time goes on, bao Mr. Clements wole yin three company fana represent through the Russian company atenata wol fenge. But now Mr. Clement fanang anata kodo yin kaning miya lonko awarata sign puru ming nyantakake atela kote because I believe leko sanying ebe kodi bale soto kanyin kuokon badin Gambian code. So ni nata wo jube so Yoro Jalo so Yoro Jalo nyeng wole ground woko nyimbe laid down by virtue of ala position, ala title, and some other things many along ko ibe operate ka wodulanyin. So another agent pa Usman Toure wofana mala operation director. So even ajala Yoro Jalo animpa Usman Toure wolbele kafuta nyola ka cool facilitate ka jube puru nying clandestine company nye mimbe operate kan Gambia ka tulu kurungo dinna ka essence kurungo dinna anin kan na environment o be pollute ye na wo operate ndino Gambia jam. bari ni nata jube one man min fanambe maraleng kuwo nyinna woketa comme nana ado coffee amoko malo nyade something like that. So wo fanam involved in kuwo nyin konole because wo tamu company nyinte mi alon ko ika foko ultimate base logistic wo fanan tamol. So wo with me along it has fallen short of the basic standard in Yantaka Minke Gambia Bangkok. So bearing justice this man Justice JT ye case nying handle abe case nying tamande kan on and on. At the end of the day, wo Justice JT nying inata government agent lel use pour ye diamu Justice JT ay wo case nyin drop but a case nyin allegedly nga information o min sota case nyin kono wala nyinte ko about $26 million wala dita the former Inspector General of Police min keta Ablai Sanyanti about this Russian cartel deal min be in Gambia. So meaning ko since the First Lady is involved and the Managing Director of Gam Petroleum, Manala Operation Director, Minketa, Mr. Țuretib. So at the end of the day, even ajala nyinko nata keku masilandembate for signing case nying abe National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia bulu. Bari, molu mim botaje puru kata testify to the National Assembly, bao Gambia ni First Lady ba kuokono, iye molu useless so much so that ka jube ko nying case nying amanyang kata adulato. Nying case nyang takafale. You know? So at the end of the day, mo Jamal Milkata National Assembly, in fact, for the first time, ikake closed door proceeding nati. Miya lonko iman lafi moe nin telefonia taje sako inin camera wala journalist olte dun naje. Abeta ata nara nyin dili ba miya lonko $3 million ya soto ya wala soto je. And when they were clandestinely operating on the waters of the Gambia, katulu kurungo essence kurungo din na banko mola minkan na motol tinya health-wise among fit for consumption in the Gambia, bao it was destined to go to Ghana. But coming after nyami, jama niye dulal jube, iba jala over 26 million, ibe bribe la as ablai sanya. No wonder, nin sita nga falie ko. These are among so many other problems milbe kerin na banko kang, miya kendino, nyim molu milbe maralole man la fika mansayabula. At the end of the day, nin sita ndana tolbe nga jube mimbe kerin na banko kang. Imagine mol yeta ye 3 million kickback ye wodi mol. Dolbe 600,000 kickback ibe osoto kanje. All maril, they would never want to leave power. Because wolia believe leko itolbe maralola sembo nyi minto. Apart from it, all the basic salary man sakunda ka mindila eka fenna soto miya lonko wotambite la salary fangola. So puruka jube man sakunda la falenya wol nene buke mira wala. This is all the more reason B la fita kana ngasi ngana Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia jube. Because mo jama pa wolel sita ye Constitution o nyeng deny ya refute ye ikong kana songa la mumeke. Because ni o Constitution o nyem fanan jube. Haduminte ya ba dunta kuokono. You know? Greed dunta kuokono. Andung wasa balia ba dunta kuonyenkono. So ite as a Gambian, ning ayatara, ntenite na kango muminti, mi alonko from 2020 draft constitution, woe maral kango di Gambia mi alonko, ay Gambia londe silo kan silo mi alonko, alhamdulillah, ninga wo noma, at least Gambia be funti nolale. Bari, nyem molo milialonko ye nyem bilo nying introduce 2020 draft constitution. Adam Barola below draft constitution ole minti. Etata molu nyininka yete nyininka yente nyininka ye molu be nyininka milia lonko be Gambia Bankoka. Bari jama basonta minna wolem nyente ko na draft constitution o nyen lafita maral kangole la miya lonko mbota min kono nun kunun ko anin kunun ko ban kana say no wodula to koten kado niaje in draft constitution 2020 nying Gambia dingol based on tawola 116 million killing million tang million keme million tang ani woro wole dunta kunna wo kodo nying amanyankata kense wo nyama kato ngate Mr. Adam Barrow fam atele wo bilo nying introduce ye molo ki banko beto anin kata tuba du bankol to kanyininka alla fita maral nya sifa nyaade so nin nata fast forward nga wo maral nya kango nying nga wo fontende nan ko la fita nyim maral nya sifal la fita maralo la Gambia banko ka miya lonko the Inspector General of Police miya lo makamati balem na banko ka President manyanka tombon no sakwasa baino hane nim president ya tombon president ta baino la katuko wala makamo be nyamin anyanta kake molete miya lonko ay tilingo sabatindi mbetema and all the other service chiefs wolfanana makamol be wala nyama amanda Inspector General of Police Damala Director General of Immigration Director General of Prison Service the CDS of the Gambia Armed Forces and then the Director Generals of other institutions milbe Gambia Banko kan President was a recommendation o kan o kon lafita kare la talad bari parliament wole be approval o kala kaje ete wo marita bawa nyanta ka mari kisi ka jube fo ala londo lukata bake wala ala makamo nyim bete ata ka jube atese o palaso nyim marano the same thing nim president o recommendation olke pour ka o maril ta ke bondije parliament memu national assembly milka ntolbe represent wolel se o approval oke pour ke maril bond so Gambian call nin sita ngamira o maral nyasifal femman bete amin tambita woti fenna man bete amin tambita woti bari nin sita ngaje president ala sembo ay wara nyala so much so that ko wole kan donde tajirante ya kono wole ka kenden ka ke autocrat olti dictator olti anin nyim maral la kurungolo milbe banko kay ka kenyame andu mbebe agree la on one point wala mnyentiko ntol tol be bota damin kunun ko ba man la fika sewot so mune akende in your right frame of mind kasinga jubeko nyuliena ye constitution ota ya be sepon ka buse ya ka wo maral ka mi alon ko Gambianol koy sulata minna yete ye wo be falen enate sembe badi president la mi alon ko fumata masilanta andum akuonyim fanan jahalo sembo warta wo kam man tol Gambia dingol ko mbawulenke samante sonna wo ko la katuko wo ko do min fango dunta draft constitution o kono 116 million o se ku jamala kenna fuaro le nafsane lalu kunkolto ay nasano bunda ay je warande ay je betende aya mechanized de ninga tara mandu wo ko nyin kono ayem ninga tara mandu wo fan kono senna loptanol fanam betende nole ase joran jama sannoje be Gambia hani tata je be jimbuso min fango dunna e bala jato ko ne ta fango la kasa o mu banku tardere ngolde o mu bankolte mi alon ka fatale already so man la fi o balunya sifa e continue la fitala ko e ben tolla kodol dundila dawoda ay ke ba futuwote i ben na kodo dundila dawoda ase fembonde mi alon ko nga min dundije wo wala be abe fembonde la min siata dina nga min dundije bari ka fonte kan na taxpayer la kodo use ka donde kuto kuomi ya lonko amam faida fango soto at the end of the day imanna wo constitution o nying horoma ye wo kodo bula eta o nyama o mutinyaro leti andum punishment o nyanta dila molla le milia lonko e sonta fo wo kuo nying kenol wala tinna bi niya jube na title o menyin the proposed draft constitution of 2024, war is more like a treasonable act. Me alonko molu milie wo ke banko ding jawo lemuiti, iman Gambia banko kanu, iman le fanna, andu ila karango doyate famfi. Dawda Jalo follow. Ndenga believe leko, that guy should be charged for treason in this country. Puru, kajube Gambia dingolo. Yaje Gambia mu banko ndenner. Bari mfangol lel kasi nga jube na molu kanaika ku furengo kenna, yendundi mantoro kono mantoro mi alon kontem fambondi no lakon. Nga singa mutako Gambia mbekele, Gambia mbe badinkele. Womu dale ti molka wala fo dala dro. Imagine nyeng bota nyeng Russian petroleum scandalo mim foka. Mone akendi wo sifal bekela Gambia banko kan. Just because of mo kunkili na kile on la selfish interest. Just because of allegedly $3 million ye min sotaje, the first lady nyol fangol be dadun taje. For crying out loud, for all I know, the first lady of the Republic of the Gambia, wolum nyanta keke moleti milia lonko, ye nyalo ila futu baroka. The office of the first lady, bari imanyanka dung kuol kono milia lonko clandestine kuolem, land deal solo, petroleum deal solo, and so many other energy deals solo in the country. Woka na esi nyam aka koleandi Gambia bankokan. And don't make no mistake, nali nyen constitution okono jube ya kenyami. Nyim molo ibe silande ne? Ibe silande mona la miya lonko. Eta mari siye constitution ota ya be woto. Ya be kude tala ya talantala. Iko ifaye ko sanyi. Let us look at chapter 5. O chapter 5 nye mine nyenenka. Wala mnyentiko. Leadership and integrity. Miya lo maral nya kendo. Anin maralo miya lonko, anin tilingo, anin tonya wala nyantakata. Bari na banko ka nyimmoli muneke, Adam baro nala molo 2024. Wala atin nanko nyimmolu mu banko din jaw balet. Nyimmolu mu mo kurungolet. Nyimmolu in fact iman la fi Gambia dingoli balu na manke tol damad. O leadership and integrity, muna fisi ata wo, muna beti ata wote, muna beti ata katambi wote. Wole mu dino te because woye min fasa wala mnyente ko ni be na la mansa kundato ela asset sol ye men besoto e nyanta ka declare ni be bola je fana iata ya be declare ala baro na la mol ko hani that's na wala you know because he hadu metale mola mimu mo wasa baloliti. At the end of the day, nyuli nyanta keke moleti miya lonko in fact manyanka nyo saba wala wai. Because tilingo wala mu islamote. Tilingo ye kuke miya longa nin siratal mustaqima silo betar la nyoka. Bari ni aje man sonyina ye mo kurungol lel use ye ke jorangol tin na bankol kan puru ye na ye Gambia nasinde. Gambian tol nyanta ka singa balafa wo banko e wai. Ntol be nyantaka balafa Gambia banko mu banko ndem balati in mainland Africa. But nina ata wo banko juba atele tarleta banko bete dunia beko. Simply because mu kurungolu milia lonko ye fam bambunde eko etol mu islamoleti molelti etol mu muslimolti bari kafiri daji ko lebe mo jamala in the Gambia. Kafirol milia lonko imam bili fenna wol jama daji ko wole be molla milia lonko be Gambia because nienna 97% of the people milbe sirin na Gambia bankoka. At the end of the day, make no mistake, mbebe agree la ko sale wati nene buka nyim mol dang bari nyim mollal keta molte milia lonko en na banko nasinde ne wote nye e manyanka sika fako chapter 5 leadership and integrity mi along ko ibela assess declare la before and after ne palaso nyimmara umu ku kenda balati banku kendo liya keno wala nyama wala tinne futata e nyanta ka futadula bar mo kurungol meli along ko ibe o palaso to wala fanam fon ya kendiko e ko hani nkanyen deal sifal mil be fali wala ya kendi wol man lafi o leadership and integrity ya taraje because ya lonna ko ila salary damma wo manyen kuol sila wai ila salary damma manyen kuol sila mbade Gambian call friends of the Gambia Nyimal la vent programme oleti. E mari se join no nan on Facebook live jang. Ka jube ite fanan na take mumunati nyenkuol kono. Kato niya jube nyimman kentol da mala disagreement wala na denial or refusal to accept this draft constitution 2024. Imagine 2020 draft constitution. Ya banko bele yai. Itata bantala bankol fanan to yo fanan be yai. But at the end of the day, nata isita ye wol bela ideally la mira rolo ye wol lel kafunyole ya present. President ko hani ate mantaso nol. Bao woye kulel mami ya lonko ako tilingo nyantaka sabati bankoka. Moral kendo anyantaka sabati bankoka. Respect for the rule of law and human dignity and decency ofana nyantaka tara bankoka. Katuko nima woldi hadamadingola. Banku nene bukata nyato no. Ni woman sotaji. So ita mari at the end of the day. Inyantaka ke hadamading kendo leti. Ku kendo muna kende Gambia dingol buka lafi wala. Ntol Gambia dingol. Mo jama buka lafi ku kendo la. Andon ku kendo wala ka banko dadano. Alimbenga denga ku kendo. Nyenku jawba keo. Niya jube wala fango ya kende. Wala kende ni tata de local government commission o nyenkon. Eka kulu mo ifango buka eka jahalle ko. Yara fan yentilimbali albekirim fan la bankoka. You know? The finance director Alaji Jen. Nga mwela 288,000 voucher eka wole di mola kome salibo. Eko ifaye honorarium. Honorarium. Ibe odi la mola purumo. Ete ase kansulo eke jole. Mansa kundaka salary le dila. Be pare. Nin sale watu binala eko 288,000 yena odile ya cancel le ya osamba puro ila molu. How do we know kominko wokodol futa tajila? And in fact, munati nebe wokodo tale ba dile la at the expense of the poor farmer mimbe ulokon. Muna na farmer sol million yin cancelol kina woto imanta wol kumandi yewo honorarium diye wolla. Eko eka mimfo salibo. Nyulbe mu tilin baliyalati. Nyulbe mu corruption oltin na bankoka. Andun tilin baliya menketa Brikama Area Council under the leadership of Sirifo Sonko. Mayo Jenela miyalon ka jeno ke o bankoka so much so that far pronounced akawandi musolta ke jene. That is wrong. That is an abuse of office. At the end of the day, President o wollel embrace. President o lafita wollel. It means ko na banko kan momo ye bad behavior exhibit. President Kalafitella. How did we get it wrong this thing, Gambia? How did it got so bad from a futa nyen stage sifat? Momo keta mo kurumati dorong. It means ko Adam Baroka wole muta ni bulufula. Aya mari hog. Umudaji kanta yalti. In so many developing countries or developed countries, ni keta mo kurungoti hana ataretele ka billion di mol bela mo be ke fanjam fandilale. Anyanta ka ke wala nyama. Andun ko in the Gambia ko 97.4% wala muslimo. Fake dino nka wala bambom fankun barin juso bebe tinyarene man telling at the end of the day. This is why it's very, very important. Thank you very much, Bakar Bajo. Aning attending Moses Ceesay. Nalbe konto nyimu vent program oleti. This is why na banko kan kamim falie. It is very important. Nyimman ke pati kude. Pati ku manyan don na yento nyimu bankola ku mi manyan wo manyan doron. Ha! Kato ko nyim molo melbe palasoto. Nyil mufuari dim palalte. Mili alon ko nunto ni ko ibe diamole dal ka farale fo yelo ka fonti dal kono. A beta ta nata fuaria lo kutela hani mentelato fango mi nyanta ka sanke dal fenkale buka keno. Ombo yo wato nata wol dal lel kafara hani la fita ka jele. Bari bi wo molu nata sin na palaso to e muta komin ko nin kuto e yirsulo muta. Yala ngal be maybe albe demo kala dindi ya wato. kuto ni wo yirsulo muta e ka bulole kuntu bare yirsulo abuka la fika wo bulano nyim molu be walla starting from Adama Barrow down to the person ala cabinet ol kono mol mil bebe ala cabinet ol kono nyule yirsulo le muta e man la fika abula because of iye nemo min soto nyim place ol to itol ko e faye ko dunia la nemo be danta janne nyulu man la fika Gambia banko samba nyato de Gambia banko under Adama Barrow is going down and down and down for obvious reason. Nyulu man ken tolla kuma count mi ya lon komba fola just merely we hate the guy. No. Adaji ko man la fala. Simply because Adama Barrow e man sakunda alana man sakunda ye corruption o balundin na bankoka. Ye daji kanta ya balundin na bankoka. Jeno sembo warata je even National Assembly members ol milialon ko be jenola and other people. Nibe public officer you have to be exemplary. Ye daji kake miya lonko a manyankela president o nyinka to nondino. Bare nyim molu ala jube from the Adama Barrow la advisal ke baba kodolu. Milialonko musufula saba nani be bulu. Ikata dinde merongol no may be jenala dong at the end of the day wol yene la cool expose ye funtin the band. Adama Barrow, this is all the more reason na faeko nyeng advisal milbeje man na fasato. Because at the end of the day Adama nala molu ibeketa kutoti ye yirisulo le muta imman la fika jebula. Wole ya kendin na draft constitution abe batarayata just like this. As if ko ntol Gambia dingol me ya lonko nga kaosoto na draft constitution 2020 abe wole kon. Je e manna murun na Gambia dingol kan etol damal tate sita. Enila cabinet minister eko alinga sembo beta ngadi president. Katuko wobe nyamin wala mnyindiko. Momo ko president eko ete nyanta accountability la sinin samanden na ete mari bon. Hada madungul muna nankasila ninto nyanata. Mune akende mbuka la fi lankene mo funtendila. Mbe ku barakan lankene mo nyanta talaji. Wala akende Dawda Jallow nyanta ka prosecute le. Even in the next 10 years to come, nyanta ka prosecute le for being a bad citizen in this country. Being the Attorney General, you should be exemplary. And being the Attorney General, mu technocrat lady. Londo, so it doesn't take you only 10 to 15 years. It has to be even 10 years plus. And Londo fanankarana. It took you so long. Why do we have low self-esteem up to the gutter? Just because of merely palasol. E nyanta tarla in palasol. Ni mantara palaso nyento. Ilata ila londo le ko e minkaran. E nyanta ka kukendo le safe Gambia dingol ye in the draft constitution. Bari nyulla Gambia dingol ye doyandi nyaming. Ila fawaro. Andonga hatare manke fenna fente. E tata si e damale ko Gambia dingol ye ko altol man fayda soto. E tata ye obe safe ye fam benefit nje. Kuolu milia lonko banku kendol katamandir nya kendol minke ye wolta ye be bondiji ikoy fayko hani Adama Barrow nyanta ka yin symbol be soto anyanta ka businessman ol fangol ani nyanta ka deal without accounting for it wol mu hada madin sifa nyaadile Dawda Jallow, look at him, he needs to be prosecuted simply because he tatale tollel tata si ya nying maral kuruma be dada ya tambanang iman Gambia dingol console anyo yabate nene man soton na Gambia anyong furin deya nene man soton na Gambia anyon kurungo nene man soton na Bangkoka ka jubeko as if ko itollel bafututa anda ya tare manke fenna fendi you know mo dole be kono wol mu bede kono dingol lelte. Yeah, the last time I checked, Gambia Banco, 2,970,000. So pretty much close to 3 million people. Fansun decision ota just because alto lebe palas alto. Sa alman la fika boji, alkal fayeko nyink Russian petroleum scandalo o dilol milbe woto ite nenem ini la baluo be foi ba inya fanuta inene ma wo kodisifa amute bulo kono because of wo kickback sain wo nemo nyi malla fi wo e kontu wo e jarala faaliata yenna constitution o nyi ya be bastardize nang ya samba nang molia wo nyam wo muku kurumbalelde ando ngambe dim manyanka so wala molu be al saferol jube all over on Facebook molia tandile ko malla fi nyenna. You know, every Gambian have agreed on this point that ko nyimum dinkuriya mantambat. Yeta yesi famfe Gambia dingol kon lafita minna woeta raje 2020 draft constitution. Hana atara manke fem fangote. But the 116 million min dunta woto. O fa nyanta ka kendinga bala fam fayewai. Gambia nga beke julutati bari kodo nyantaka dundami mbuka lafi wokuo it yield dividend. It needs to add value to the process mbe minke kang woldulald. But at the end of the day, make no mistake. Molo sitale ko hani nyimanyanka song. Mo kende bald milia lonko they are very neutral in partisan politics. Ye saferol kele ya tande mo lako. Olo. Ya tandi molla ko nyimanyankata because let me say Alaji said the baro aya kendeko ako Gambia what the APRC and NPP government will be forcing on you is not a draft constitution. It is an authoritarian treaty. It wants to legalize abuse, thievery, impunity, greed and oppression. Only those who stand to benefit in some way will be supporting it or remaining mute about it. So nyulal mukwate because mote alaji said baro jubela ya link the any political party la nyimbankoka. So coming be mimfoka molu milia lonko ibe nyinko support kan wala te ebe fam muna fanka nga ko kono wala be nyinko support la because nyin constitution it is authoritarian. It is dictatorial, it is autocratic, and it is even a rebellious constitution for the people of the Gambia. Katoko, they are trying to insult our intelligence. Kafanyako, in constitution on lafita woleke, whereby you give every power to the president to make him like a monarch, a king. Namara niya jamekuyata nyina. Gambia dingola alinga nafiki abula. Gambia dingolo alinga balu katonya de sabaten. Kunung koba iko kuumi mambetea. Ni woketa kunung ko anin kunung anin bi. The same thing nyantaka wala for that stand should be very neutral. Katandeko mimanya wo manyandorong. But we as Gambian nyimu palafabat. Afele nyin constitution dictatorial constitution. A constitution mi ya lonko ay maral nya kurumule dundi Gambia ning ayatara misalo fe ning ayatara nyembe pass la kake luate na nyembankoka. Gambia neneta kungo bondela. It means ko we will be below deck. Mbetalla fanka so duma lede. Gambia ta kungo funtende. Simply before fanka so duma ni mil betalla je wolbekela multi-million lonko they will be protected. Etol betar lela bankal lel kono jiote etol batandela amunta ko Gambian people will continue to suffocate, die and cry of hunger and starvation in our country. But in Gambian called friends of the Gambia for albe nye miraleba ale jubero ke nyin kuollal molu be will disagree te ko nyin constitution amam betea handamane andom baro anala mol 2024 near section 39 jube of the freedom of the media. Baro paper itolemi introduce war is very worrying. Kajeko the right to own and operate in the media ila subsection 2A ye mintandi woto shall be limited to only Gambians. As if ko itolle mo alati coming ko ka jube kol nyanta ka kenyan. For all we know, a private individual media house operate no Gambia. So essentially, barola paper itolka mimfo wala mnyintiko. So saying journalists all milia lonko itole freedom of speech and expression soto. Wala mnyintiko ita mari isela media house o burukanole ning ayatare iman la fila simply because ibe mimfoka wala mandie. Because nga London many times a lafita certain media household soro na nyimbankokan. But no. The Gambian people, the highest court of public opinion, wala myen Supreme Court ote mimbe kerinjan sign de on the vent. Wo molo, among other molo, oliatandila ko no, alte kerfatu mala. No, alte mimbe kerim mala. Katu ye muneke albe male ya katan ne purke sorong. Katu nyulmu media household, milialonko they are very neutral somehow. Eka kuma kamol for on both sides. Wato dolfanga abuka die eka milfo. Bari niye memfo eka na jubele ko wala mutonyat. You know, eme bulo maola. This is why Nying Draft Constitution 2024 womu strategy is a tactic puruka wo media house sifal sorong kerfatu anim membe kerin. Simply because wolu anytime they become very critical of the Barrow government. It means it's a Italian yes or no. And the one thing is fundamentally key in this place. I hate to talk about this. Wala mnyenteko Ismaila Ceesay. Nyindinde wa ya fantinya. Nyindinde wa uli ya bano. Aketa nyewati ndingol kono fa jata. Ajata fa dakala ndingol ikaje. Yalong dindi yal kono albe demokele. Ima wo nyina ndingo je miya lonko adaka jamfa mulunkete. Ismaila Ceesay jube. Dindi mereng. Wuliya kendi he cannot defend the indefensible. In the sense that niyala demino jube. Yalong, you have to work in a certain profession kamo diagnose ya jube. Ala manya al halo dobe molbala iman kendea. Ismaila Ceesay la jube dron. Aye wuliya fo nyimbanko kang. Ala fita bataro fasa ala miya lonka te fasa anola. Fa jata. Ala da jube akamunta wulo kono nyina ndingol milia lonko idaka aka point coming ko bendama. Ismaila Ceesay ba wala nyama. Dindi mere aya fantinya. I wish nyema Ceesay kundankol buka mate. Wallahi Ceesay kundankol ma mate wai. Ntamu Ceesay but at the end of the day inyanta ka balu iba itarola. Nyindindi mereng ay wuliya balundi Gambia Bankoka. Nyindindi mereng ay kuma kangal fon na Gambia Bankoka milia lonko. Eka jahal. Ano nyine mu moti miya lonko. The same Ismaila Ceesay wale sita lota. Ako baro mu clueless wala wala man fahama man fem fahama man karang. Wala do mutonyat. You know? Meaning he doesn't have the intellectual pedigree. Ka cool ke milia lonka sekeno. But Ismaila Ceesay, having said that, Atele Nunko Barrow is the most corrupt leader in the whole of West African sub-region. And wala more corrupt in the Gambia moment Nenesoto. Which is true. At the time, in 2020, right? But it is the same Ismaila Ceesay, nyinkana lo kawulia buntang. Kawulia buntang. Nte I wonder, for Ismaila Ceesay, I bading all sotoleba? Because I wrote it in many times. This guy is not okay. He's sick. He is sick. Yalong Gambia mola sasa ya mutako ni mo sasata akakurro le fay. 3/4 of our population in the Gambia bemu sasa told. Either depression or lebela, anxiety lebela, sleep deprivation or lebela, schizophrenic disorder lebela, low self-esteem, and in so many other sicknesses. Wolbe here in Gambia Bankoka. This is why, hopefully, someday I will come back here nganaka diamu about mental health. Because womu kule te mi alonko have been in that field for over 15 plus years. Few decades. But in Nabanko, mimbe caring is unthinkable. Molu ben Nabanko ka mili alonko kurantal. Ismaila Sisala Wulia Fonya, it has gone beyond the margin. Oya kendeko, he is a pathological liar. Wulia Fola andum pathological lying dum. Womu tendency lete mi alonko. It falls under mental health disorder. In a person. Ala Jube. You know? So Ismaila Ceesay is a sycophant. The sycophancy in our country is too much. Wulia fosembo warda. So much so that it's a very man kemenisati. Iko baro corruptale. Baro munyenati. And now it's a Maria Fontene Wulia babunda me alonko. You cannot look at your dingo ita nyakono found Jube nola. Gambia dingolo alinga balun tarola. Gambia dingolo alinga balu mfanna londola. Nyinko Ismaila Sintabuka akumandi doctor la. Because ni doctor degree soto. Itata college, university, ye thesis safe, ye la project onye, ya defend, la thesis ya defend. Why? Ite buka na ake mote miya lonko ebe kela dojo rounti to a school dropout. Ka fasa batarola miya lonko anene manke tonyat. You cannot do that. You cannot. Wolumuku jawaleti. Wulia saba formu problemoleti na banko kan anda meta kan na banko tinya. Anyanta ka danne. Ismaila Ceesay na bonyolu mo jamalo. Ika jalako, what is to the benefit of the incumbent, which is Adama Barrow? It all ka hoda malefo. But it all fongo ya alone ka mimfa bebu wulialedi. How do they get to go home? Ye see la larangol ka ye see no. Wala na Ismaila Ceesay nali ajube of late nyende new. Ajata le fa dakalo funtendeta coming ko nyina ndengol milka tara wuloko. You know? I don't even know ala university at Atadame. Because at the end of the day, for all I know of late, in this day and age, Molkatale University kaitol tayi sang false degree. Ete banna dulalto. You know? It's just like that Demba Sabale Minka Fankumande Dr. Laatara, he's a LP and licensed practical nurse in America here. O manke full nurse of found a dispensary mat. So ni wulia fo bambalo, wallel nyantaka banna bankoka. Alinga fania fo bula, alinga badim fasa bula. Gambian banko meta tardere. The draft constitution. Nia Jube. The freedom of assembly under section 42, subsection 1. Oyata the baro paper oyata ndileko. Okay. Molu be nyanto sotole pour ka protest. Okay. Bari. Aya dandi wala to tak. Aya femol bondi dulal to milia lonko. Mo nyanta ka protest le. Bari ite mari la protest la protest nying. E manson kula puru nim tolbe protest la nyanta kataka petition o safe ka call di government official kata ndila ko nyulla mun na balandalde. So ana mbarona la molu nyul mu tajirante olelte banko kan e man la fi maral nya kendola e man la fi ka hadama dingol la fundamental basic rights ol dila. Imagine, like I said, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are inalienable rights. Wolmu nyantoleti milialonko mo nene fango buka tano ebul. Hana tarete mu John Garanneti in other countries, in Sudan and other places. Or etemu Hugo Chavez, the world ruthless dictators. They cannot take the fundamental rights from you. Because in most constitutions, you can well entrench le mobuke mano. Mobuke mano. Bare alie barona la molje. Iye wo provisional te ya bondi. Eko molu ma wo nyanto soto. Bare wo nyanto nying alafangole wo di mola kach. Andeko, ni protester, you have the right to give a petition here and there. Kajube ite mari ila balanda munete puru mansa kunda finanse lamoy no one. itol ko hani wo manyankake so nyul mutajirante balti nyul la yabate sembo waratale amanke ko nye konne bari daji ko sunkanta bakele e mum moliti mi yalonko ntolu nal tolu na member sol mili yalonko on this vent altol Gambia dingol la mun na juriti altol la mu di joyti andu altol la mu prosecutolte alse lammay baake deliberation wala mimbe kere ka jube at the end of the day fonyi man sakunda jareta la itaraje ba bari nteko mbe case min present kan Gambia dingole nyim molu man jari hanika gate man ya fango dila including Mr. Adama Barrow simply because mbota tarde min kono nyulko ikan dundiku wole kono ntol ko mbam fere manta sonna katu ko nyulu foytol man dingol lel soto foy man basato e man fasato bari mo mamanyol foy man molu je Gambia banko kay be pataka nyamin na banko molu bata Gambia de molu batata Gambia fuaria be Gambia banko ka o fuaria min bebe Gambia banko ka nyem mol ko hani mba la fala lele mbe tajirante ya murundi la nanga di alla aya tara molu ye famfa nyem banko ye pour banko ye boya jamme bulkadu ya jamme mo tajirante olte nyem banko ka wala ya bala fa sembo fang wala yena constitution da mi alonko ala draft nyin dal it is not fit for purpose hana tara man the anarchists aban wallal fangos aman suitable for the anarchists. Why do we deserve this from these people? Thinking that ko mbota min kono man la fika dun kotenke woto. Man la fika dunje bari Gambia de alia lonko Gambia den kurungol sotota. Itate sita including Dauda Jalonte, I believe that this man is not a good citizen of the country. Iseke mo kendo te nyaonya imanyan kanyeng draft fa fonten miye jolo dun Gambia dingol kangola kajube konten niji no la kotanke. It is very sad. Amam betea. Gambia manke alfa mal la keta kundati. Gambia manke Gambia la plaso manke alla family inheritante. Miya lonko alba talan na nyotema. In fact, maybe ne luwa kendol fango beje office yata damande bare Ismaila Ceesay Dauda Jallow ali jube itata si coffee time ye wulia pabuntanje miya lonko ndeysan ñul bebota tundol to community kono e bebota kordal le kono an ñul la family member dolu e mu fuaro le te hana tara ibuka ko fango sotono isa sanno min. So ite la fite ila o family member mimu fuare dingote ila fite ola fuare ya continue dorang ye school drop out o bula o he banko mara. You know Gambia school drop out in the passing of Mr. Adama Barrow mi alonko ala amam tamandri nyama long mu make yo bulaje. There is a very fundamental reason why these people want Mr. Adama Barrow to continue. Because Mr. Adama Barrow is a yes sir, yes ma'am. Sign, approve. Ateka ke wala nyama buka read fang. Aka kele approve dorong approve. So at the end of the day, niaje battery asembo watan na bankokan, corruption o waratan na bankokan unchecked. It's all because thanks to Mr. Adama Barrow in action. Molu mili be corrupta. Adama Barrow ye be muta ye be proteka ye be fasa ako ye kukuka nake. Molu miye molu fan na bankoka ye molu senen na bankoka. Adama Barrow ko hani. Ale minke wole beteata. Ninkombe al prosecute la drombe mbe loose la. Adama dingol lella. Oh, Yarafan, this is the mentality of the school dropout na Minnesota at #1 Marina Parade in the Gambia. Mi alonko atabe siring ate kunkile na kilengo adama ala family anala musolu ate sula tawalla bare the greater good of Gambian people aman sulela. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia. Altol mimu jurilti na jojolu aning na prosecutor milbe jube role. Altol lebe decisiono pasla ka tandiko nyulla mansakunda mu mansakunda kurungolati iyaba tetale e kuruyatale andoi malla fi Gambia la tanyato la way. Yeah, Dawda Jallow and Ceesay wol ma sibol lelti. Wol mu Hitler jawol lelti. Ni tata in Nazi Germany, Hitler 2 million Jews ay wole fa. B, nyen tubabu bankol ko niye Hitler to for mol beke komal jube ye jubete. Because ya despisele, ya konne coming ko ye fraona konyame. So nyem mol mu banku din kurumolate, Dawda Jallow aning Ismaila Ceesay, Milia Lonko, aning other people. Milia Lonko e beje ya Lonko, nyem mu batara ya constitution olete. Miya lonka mammo nafa Gambia Bankoka na manke Adama Barrow ala family ana dingol damma. Fa Adama Barrow damma wala mo keotin na Gambia Bankoka. For all I know, Adama Barrow damma manke keotin na Gambia Bankoka. Andung Gambia dingol nyanta ke hakilo tu ba. Ka jube nga mo kilinta nga embolden nkonga kenyato ay taraje fofaw. O mo kilin wala kana ke sepun fa. Ya jamme ya ke janne. Nga jale jongulal betale benala jongulal betala nga safele. In open Gambia beje. Kabrin Sidin Jai being a worst citizen in our country. Treasonable act kan na constitutional subvert ka jube ko Adama Barrow ntol ko wala mansati woko hani wo manyanka ke mansa. Birani ya jamme tata Equatorial Guinea. The same Sidin Jai as Murtananjang Tanama soto. Jongula sol milia molu faye kungol kundu e ka kilin nale sol baji nyol e bebe seikanna. Lastly, the current jongula min seitanan wala mu Major General Bora Koli wala fanan seitanan taname soto in fact e ka red carpet le dila and in VIP treatment. Whereas ye molu milte ye fa, ye sene, ye dolte ye rape na nyem Bankoka wolbe sirinji be pare nyulla fita kanyem batare ya constitution of fay Gambia dingolka without consulting us. They are taking us for a fool. Gambia dingo bele nyanta ka wuli hana tara be kelako Gambia eta fo kari jolu doku kanake wolebe nyi yabate sifal bulak nyem manke alla family enterprise de way nyem manke alla family la inheritante whereby ete mari sika foko ha mama nyine tujente la nyanta kainta nyina ita kariya nyenta nyimu Gambia kuolet Gambia kuolam nyente so nyimu fando ya la fanam fangote kasi mol milialon ko etol iko karantal ye tahasi ye nyensa fe just for the school dropout ye continue ka maraloke. What does that tell you? Oya tandile ko nyimolu manke fenna fenti hani ka minjolon kamo kono fa wala fisiate tolde way katu mo kunkilina kuola kuo ye o tambende almost close to 3 million people la kuo o amanyang kake yaba telemo andung Gambia dingo bele nyanta ka wula kuola niye ya nyemen gazeti nyanta ka reverse la because a manke fenti Gambia dingol manyang kasi nyen konna sa konsa kodiam. It's non-negotiable. National Assembly nga information also kajube ko they are trying to use money purka mol fenke. Yalong in any setup ye banku din jawol soto. Milia long ko wolman sula fenna Gambia banko ka wolu kodo dorom anin nafulo anin assets. Maybe wholesale Africa some. But at the end of the day, na molu milia lonko beje nga lonko wolbe Gambia fasala. Gambia le jarta ka fasa. To make no mistake. BBBB. Mr. Adama Barrow be balure. What if na fata BBBB fam? Na fata BBB fam. So you are giving a bad constitution, a bad leadership and bad rulership. Puruoye mara. Without thinking and putting into consideration ko, an unthinkable could happen. God happened in so many mysterious ways. Mr. Adama Barrow BBB na fata. Allah fita puru nyen constitution e pass. So it means ko that bad provision amunta ko momi mbina akela mansati wale fanambe continue la ka o maral nya jawo nyin tamandin na bankoka. Wala yakende nimbe lual dadala we think outside the box. Hada madeo neo mantare fambul. You know? Yeah, Jamela 1997 constitution. Almost close to how many years be? amunta ko almost close to sanji tansaba. Wole be marakan hani bi hani sam. That is a shame for Gambia. Purunga singa jube ndolko karanal beji. The so-called wulia fola lun milko iko mu doctor lelti. At the end of the day, walla karome na fafenna. Ni karanta, ika fenkendo lelte ye lande. Gambia should be thinking outside the box. Ngamira mbe manufacturing factory kenola na bankoto nyadi. You know? Mbe youth sol tano la nge employ nyadi le Gambia banko kampuru nyemfuari ya jawo beta. Mbe all sort of factory kelaje. Mentem factory duta factory you know, lemuna factory because Gambia is blessed with all of these things. Nyantaka sile nyensi fala nyantaka kenna mira roti. To look at the bigger picture of a country rather than self-serving and being self-centered. All the cabinet ministers, Mil Babyji, they are self-serving from Mr. Adam Barrow down to the last person. Imam Gambia Kanu. Gambia dingola misinterpretation of patriotism. Wala mnyendiko nibe mansakundato, you have to be loyal to the president. Wala mu patriotism. So ni by the right another person. You can be patriotic today, some another thing. No. Patriotism has to be continual. It has to be perpetual in your behavior. Ede Maria Sotonyami. Because ila banko wo jarite ekuo belale. A jarite ete niyo eta bari ila banko yebo. Wala patriotism. Amanke ko hard leader the incumbent mimbeji inyanta katara wale fasala. Honey? Something that is good for the Gambia and the greater good of the Gambian people. Wale nyanta kafasa. Factory ole waraje, employment facility ole waraje, so that new youths all milia lonko beje kata bagwe, they become hopeless, oku se talano nyamin. Nsulata wallala. But instead of thinking outside the box and looking at the bigger picture, you look at a multi-million lonko, they are tunnel vision. Mimbe singo koto jambi, etolla fita walla. So what I can difference of the Gambia na jurel na prosecutor altol nyantaka nyenkuwa makato bay. Ha. Altol nyantaka nyenkuwa makato bay. Yabate man tambiala. Nkon dunta fitino min kono no mallafi nga murumba towo. Mallafi wala. Wolman betea. So ni na te ya jube the consumer protection of Barola government wolu ye barona la moljel. E tolu e la fita le coming ko molu milia lonko e kap good soul nati Gambia. Coming the quality service to protect the health and safety or the economic interest of consumers to compensate other people in the Gambia. Barola mansakunda ko hani de wote kela de itolman la fi wala. Because nibe nyenjende njai yakana. Luala ning sartol fanambije. O sartol nyantaka mafale. Nyanka kontrako ke mola. Yene ya terminate unlawfully. Niye okete mari nyantaka o compensate. But Baro government ye o be jube. The 2020 draft constitution ye ming kalanke yandi. It all ko hani. Because it all ko hani. Ela interest with the world in 2024 draft constitution that would be serving the interest of the businesses, the public institution more than the welfare of the citizen. Wodu manyankake. You know? Business wo business lota. For instance, yalo nga fole ko factory. Nem factory lota ja. Lafita ko factory nyi. A lota maybe na lota ntolia kombo fa babanta. Wala tenga lota infarato. Ning a lota wo dulalto, wo molu milibe wo community follow wallel fanam fa nyanta ke muna fa wola. Because in nyanta ka royalty di wallale. Wo factory o wala tenga wo industry mimbetar la lorinje. Maybe abe some environmental damage and problems all the cause la wo dulalto. So therefore walla silo nyanta ka betala. Walla youth soul should be employed in that to be able to take care of their daily needs. Wala nyanta kake. Bari, ite malla fi wala ite lafta big businessman wala big corporation ol wala tara Gambia bankoka ka Gambia dingol exploit at the expense of the welfare of the citizens of the people. Well, man, correct. Just like I was saying earlier, wale akendi mo nyantaka hakil tu bake. Nimbe diamula kuokula, we should be very careful. Na jubeko, we talk about country. Instead of na jubeko ha nyantaka karile fasa mimbe nyato. Dunia is all abemu change le de wate falengo sekeno. Ni wo falengo nyinketa ete mari, it means that the bad law that you made today will be prosecuting your son and daughter tomorrow. Waldu mampetea. Wala dinna nyeng wasa balia, habo, greed, and ning, you know, ite mu mote miya lonko ibuka imalo muna mukanyantati. You know? Just like I was saying, nyewulu Ismaila Ceesay, miya lonko in 2020, ala safero, I mean safe, afangod. Yalon safero ketale, and also, video kala ndaisan. This is why social media until now we are very, very blessed. Ntol benta wati le fe mi along. Ye meo memfo. Ye meo men safe. Hanatara wati jolle nata beka funtinan. So at the end of the day, ntabenye memfe fokanjam bi nimma based on concrete evidence man kulo sambajani hormone mbunya. Sinin sama. Molba funtindi la nanne. If I change my stand, ya tandina ko kunu ikotende. Bare bi ikoteng. Ete mosi fal. Tonya hada madonka change of position sort of. However, but it should be based on ideology and concrete evidence ka atandiko. If you think kununga nyinefo, but wo foro nyimbina ata nyinefo, the trajectory, the distinction between those two things, woli nyanta ke jube. Instead of lying, misleading, distorting truth, and also misinforming the people. You know? Nyewuli ala fanal beto nga safero ke okuola. Katandi the map makers. Wolo the map makers will fananka more deceive in a certain way. Because a map of the Gambia niya jube kaitinding abe wole bana. But they shrink it and made it so much so that they made people to believe that okay, Gambia la size munyenati, ala population of munyenati, and ala landmark munyenati on a piece of paper. So that's why arithmetic, mathematics, woye word logic nying aya define because coordinates or sizes and objects or kakenyaming akonying doesn't match with the realities on the ground. This is why politicians or strategic line ikawo useless as a yardstick to deceive and distort the people. Me alonko ka more misinformed about the realities on the ground. Amanyanka ke wala nyam. Yeah? Ismaila Ceesay in 2020 draft constitution I mean safe. According the constitution define the future of the country. It fulfilled the wishes and aspiration, the aspiration of Gambians, young people in particular. Voting against it is akin to sacrificing the aspiration of young people and the future generation on the altar of political egocentrism. And again, the same Ismaila Ceesay in 2024, anata iwulia babuntamulia. Bao now abe minister yalla. And in 2021, Ismaila Ceesay in tolbe in crosta numbarale. That time abe ye pick up odial. You know, this is a shady man. Nte Sehu Sedili, Keba Sabali, Fasen Sabali, and some other people in Crosta Kata Bara to campaign to the people to tell them that Barrow is not a good leader. He has to go. And this Ismaila Ceesay Barrow was clueless. He has no intellectual pedigree to run the affairs of the state. You know? So that Ismaila Ceesay is a shady character. You have to say something that you fervently believe in. You know? But again, Ismaila Ceesay say members of our national, a continental CAFO, members of the National Assembly have a clear choice. They either choose democracy by voting for the constitution, promulgating, bill, and pass it through the next stage, or bring back dictatorship by rejecting the bill. Ismaila Ceesay Indiangan. Ako, the choice is between the past and the future. Our collective destiny is in your hands now, NAMS. We expect that you will be guided by the dictates of dictates of your conscience and the supreme interest of the Gambian people. The people who elected you to represent them. Anything else would be a monumental betrayal of historic proportion. We are keenly watching. Ismaila Ceesay. So now, Ismaila Ceesay again. These are all 2020. I milfo. Ako, we are hosted by Good Lord Jonathan. Political parties, party leaders were there to discuss the constitution. We all agree on almost all the 10 striking points, except the retroactive clause. Everyone in the room agreed to negotiate and remove the retroactive clause to ensure we have a constitution. The UDP was the only party that disagreed. So effectively, the reason we don't have a constitution today is because of the UDP and its leadership. So this is 2024. Ismaila Lakumaka. Nga falele nung 2020 ay mimfo versus B aka mimfo. You know? So Ismaila Ceesay is a liar. Ismaila Ceesay is a liability. Ismaila Ceesay need help from family members. Kajube ko nyindingola wulia fonya. In fact, it has changed his demeanor. Abalajato fongola kuol talatale. Psychologists will look at you and know that this is something is wrong with you. So Ismaila wulia fo a warata sembo warata so much so that, like I said, fa dakalo jata jamfata kuke mulunke. Nalia nyajube. You know yalom ndaisa. Moluka fenkilingo jube no, but moluka minje nyola ika fatale. That is what I am saying in Ismaila Ceesay. He is not okay. He is greedy. Anya matale mulunke habola karola andabe wulia bafa saka miya lonko ate fanya lonko wo mu batarol te Gambia bankoka. Purka mol nene. Yetuba karan dindingol la fania mo jamala fania fojet. Wala kende mama nene malla tubabu karan dindingola. Kajeko ako tapale doroi ka do wole kono. This is why I nene ma dim samba karambungoto milialon ko be fengo karana tubabu karan. Bara dingol dingolu be entel mama maringol. Aka malla tubabu karan dingol because wulia fo jama kasia mol kono. O ma kende ka foko modol teje milbu ka to nyafo. You know? Modol beje ka balu to nyale ka to nyafasa. You know? But people like Ismaila Ceesay, momi alo ay nem fata fula soto da koloma fula. Na ko jana dundu nga ko jan dandam. You know? So Ismaila Ceesay kilimo nyen wulia fo bambalo wollel nyantaka bo Gambia. Mbenga lon tonya be larindami. Mbenga lon kunu ye nyinefo. But at the end of the day, be lafita ka molu filindi. Just because of a palaso mi beji. Manyanka songala, be manyanka songala sama. Ismaila bamam futu Gambia dingol bat. Momo mimbe Gambia. Eka jubele ko ete ba wale watajo bay hanata refa futa kabilo beti. Ete ka muta wale beteata fadol. But at the end of the day, nyimu deception olete. Wala kende nyimu sifal. We have to stop them by any means. Ka jube ko ebenyim misinformation ola. Distortion of the truth. Ka wulia sabatendi on top of the truth. Wonyanta ka bole. Because ni wata ibentol la future tinya la yen dingol la future wolfana na future tinya. Kule manyan kake ka jube ka nyim molo bola. Kanaka wulia beda da ka befo anda ataram benga lo wulia be larindami. Again, Ismaila Ceesay Kumako. And again, I think that even if it doesn't pass in parliament again, it will be the same UDP blocking it, as they are saying that even if a comma is removed from the CRC draft, they will vote it out. They want the original draft to return as it is, which is not possible. Ismaila Wulo Ceesay Fokala interview with GRTS. Nyulu ka balu nyadile. Nyulu ka balu nyadile. Nyulu mam makato bay. Imang Gambia dingol la sulol solve noye. Imang Gambia dingol la konko bondi noye. Bare la kata bali diya. Man sakunda kono. Ye wo fault beta ikoy ka di UDP. How convenient, Gambians. Na juries, na judges all. This is the highest Supreme Court of the land. The vent. Mia lonko nka wuliani nkuol bondi nyoto. Altol Gambia de milbe lamoy kan altol lebe nkuo kiti hotela. Ni Adama Barrow man Gambia makato bay. Amang Gambia bondi nyim fitino kon. Amang electricity la problem of solve no. Amang nawek la problem of solve no. Amang Gambia dingol la basic life standard amang wo jindi no Bangkoka. So that is all the more reason. Womu UDP la fault leti, right? Yenye masiba mol jele. Milialon ko ika wulia for so much so that ko. It dingol fango itol fango kono niye wulia for ika for ifang kono la inner feeling. Kamintandi la ba for la ifa go here is my light. Yenye wulia ba min fotending. Ifa mate proud lela. Internally, Ismaila be miralo. Wala kende nye waten dingol kon. Ajata le fa dakalo jamfata damande. Because a sitale. Ka wuliani bataro fasa. Mia lonko Gambia dingol bebe wo oppose kam. Regardless of political affiliation, Gambia dingol, they have a common agreement. In this endeavor, ka tandiko, nyimu tajire constitutionality. I mo killing the male fasa while I'm the school dropout. Mr. Adam Barrow. You know? At the end of the day, make no mistake. Wale akendi. Modolu mo jamal funtite yalon niye molu ko ikoy be mol filindila mol ka funtile society kono ka diamoye the youth council ming the youth executive member aning council nominated member kemo bojanga the UDP will not change its position. Why? Simply because kemo say $116 million was spent on that document. You see, Gambia, it means control members of the UDP. We see the bigger picture. Kajako, okay, 116 million. Wala spent anyinto. Ako Gambians were consulted and their voices and aspirations were captured. Why are you afraid to present that document? Our position is clear. Bring back the people's document unaltered. Kemo boja yenyine fo. And the nyelal mutonyat. You want to justify to the people that go 16 million is o dundi bataro kono itara tala fonyo kono onyam. Without accounting for it, man electricity correct room from Soto Gambia. Man water supply correct room Soto J. And ning loptanol be nyaming, that money could have been spent there. Ning ayatara betala nyimbatare asifal fonyo kono fip. So wale akendi alenga fania fo bula. Molu milia lonko ibe Adam Barrow bale fanli alon nako amano atanola. At the end of the day, you know, wallal dumutonyat. Ebe minke kang ye doku no bali atandin na Gambia banko kan fa fumata. Corruption o sembo wata. Mo fa sembo wata. Fuaria sembo wata. Aning more the basic needs all will book a solve no na Bangkoka. For fanamu UDP la fault let it. So everything, it all, instead of doing the needful for the Gambian people, purila life ya falling no, it all ma woke no, wati na mata, iko UDP le woke. Anyon ba futu bali ate kering. Anyon tajirante ya ate kering. Hada made oniela doku no, ika kele, hani buke fang announce, ete la dokuo wala ke diamu ye bari wati ebe berolu chorchin na bankol kan dolal beto ne silol dada abuka hani kare woro si o silol ye datika kopot womu doku la sifa nyadi leti o doku o man bete ya you know so ni na ta term limit la fanna nyina draft constitutional kon fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia na jurel ni na prosecutor and na jojol in this highest court of the supreme law of public opinion, the vent. In the term limit, fananyina, nyimoluko, the term limit, the passing duly elected president of the Republic of the Gambia prior to the effective dates and serving in office as at the effective date shall be the first president of the Third Republic of the Gambia and shall continue to hold the office of the president in accordance with the provision of the constitution. As if ko mol malonko ne momi plasota as of the effective date, that person technically becomes the president of the Third Republic. Minketa, like in 2017, Adama Barrow became the president of the Third Republic from that moment on. But nyen tam lemitolu nyulla problemo minti wala mnyentiko retroactive clause o nying mimbeji wala mnyentiko nyen constitutional fanaka mimfo as at the time momi alonka be maralo nyinna wala tambe begin na wala to become the president of the Republic of the Gambia. And secondly, itolumang limitation okay presidency la maralo nyim fannala itolia bulale open so ibina jala since itolia bulale long time limito fonkeje ya fole ko time limito momi ya lonko anata keke mansati from at the time of being elected as the president wala bekela president of the Republic of the Gambia wo mu yabatelati ndolla karango tambita wala amanke ko education no for school dropout Mr. Adama Barrow nyinkara na balo wala tinanko Dauda Jallo needs to be prosecuted. And in the cabinet minister, million in cabinet paper in dada 2024. Katum banku dinjaw bal le munyulti. Nyulu nila londo be. Iman le fanna. Hada madengolo milka ke joran jawoti wole mfangolti. Na bankoka. Imam balafa Gambia ide mbota kole aminkon. Bari elafitan dunna marandole kono mi alonko mbetarla school dropout ando momin nakara man sembo man jamfa wolu wolel ka tajirante ya katambi because wolka mutala ko tolbe tarla jele forcé comme ngafo nyame ikake kutolete kuto na yirisulo muta ya fenyo sabo buka wobonde minka wobonde ka machete leta put ka bulo kunto ay jebula katunga te lafita jekela la keta adulaleti anu mo ba man futu mo ba te nyim banko kan Adama Barrow muntuma a school dropout be Gambia be hijack Gambia dengolo mbebe siri karangole londole alinga nyin indifference bula alinga fania fasa bula na telling tonyala hana tarebe mo killing ne sotala bare ni wo mo killing abe balukan nin tonyala wole mu iterite wole fana mu ibade ngote so nyulu on the term limit nyulu lafita ko Mr. Adama Barrow IF lono 2026 Gambia no ali lamme 2026 Adama Barrow nyantakalo bao B the 1997 constitution woman limitation okay maralala mi alonko president and as of today Gambia doesn't have a constitution so Gambia is in a limbo land mi alonko banana republic lebeja man constitution also and ndeysaan one strategic point lafta kamim fanam ECOWAS banko mo kurumbal banko dinjaw balu nying ECOWAS leader free movement of good and in African integration here and there. Ape wulubuto de yaba. ECOWAS banko molu e mantara mola need sol solve kan fona manke the presidential dammat ala jube na draft constitution no miya lonko nyimmo banku din kurum jawba banku din masilan dimba very dangerous people in society wolle yen dada e koy faye ko sanyin e lafita nyine banko molbe mara e manna kan tol bondi kalama e tate ya gaset fo nyulu balal futu tan tol balti fo nyulu yen tol muta komin ko ntol be 1900 le kono wala ten di 18th century karamola kuningo sembo wata wala le. The constitution should be the people's draft where we are all inclusively involved. Ka jube muna nyanta kantorma. Bare mo rogringol rebelolu itate yen constitution o tay koy tol dammale la fita. Pour o rebellion o maral kungo kurun jawo we continue bankoka. Fal tol be sonnaw. So ECOWAS banko itata yes afero ke ko hay ka Gambia tendula ko la constitution abe wulu buto deya. Abe wulia. Because worker ni ECOWAS is worth their salt. Enyanta ke mirale see before jumping the gun. Ka jube munebe o maral kankon. Bari den kurungolu milia lonko ka maral jawo fasa. E la fita o maral jawo e keja. Because the ECOWAS person mimbe woto o mugambia dingolet. You see the logic here? Mulka ke dojo ramati to an underdog. Education, no far president, a school dropout. Lafita oye continue, ka law as a president, mi alonka all the powers of bondi molu bolu and National Assembly. Aye bedia fangola sign, a co sign 2026 atebe lola. Ka election o nyini. And amanda wola, I talo 2031. I low wola. Gambian, this is not a mantra fania for kanyina. 2026, Adam Barrow, Belola le aike president ako 2031 fanailo ye Gambia ye hada madingola aboje ye hada madingola wasabaliaje momi ya lonko bira nata inna la hido betinya ako sanje sabadra be wal sanje sabo keta sanje lulet o sanje sabola ko ya hakilo bulandi wala para military le modol busa foye ngangal wutu. Simply because they are reminding Mr. Adam Barrow, puro ala sanje sabonyi ngabe nasi kanada anda nyanta kaboje. Ako hani, ntabola jang. Hai. Constitution wako sanjelul. Ha. Yes. Constitution wako sanjelul. Bari itale ya fo Gambia dingoli eko sanje sabay betar laje. Sanyin, molu dolu ko alinkana fitino bonda la bulaje. Otay montebe na bungolo ka ngafon na broda do. Nkai ko, you know what, this guy, nyimmanke lahidi timmandir lat. Ninga nyimbulaje, this guy will continue on us forever. Wato nyimbeta la e bang aba fola man amang kanyam. Bimbe wala kon. It doesn't take more hadamadi umpuri yake kumfano de wara rocket scientist. Because wasabalia wole be nyinke wato. Ando nyinke obira nata keke mansati ku jamal dunta nyo kono. Abulu. Miya lonko amalonga be bora nyaming biyare ngoto abe silande nefa abe tambirin nanelo. Wale akende chapter 5 of the draft constitution of the 2020. Yeho bondi miya leadership and integrity mama. Katu woye assessor lefenge. Woye transparency, accountability and probity woye wale ma. Itolko hanide. Ndol no batale de. Ndol no batale. Nali enke ye nyimben ngodunda aben tunendila. Ndol no batale. Gambia. We are leaving a school dropout to kick the whole country, 3 million people. As if ko, ntol bal nimfal la karangol man na fafa soto. Amulunta ko ntol we cannot read between the line ka jube muna bete ata na bankola minimum bete ata. But school dropout oko sanying atabe ala force le landila ye itata Dawda Jallow na la moli nyimbatare ya constitution ye wodada. Iko ila fita wole intolmar. Miya lonko hani se wol fango ate marano. Billah wallahi talla. ate sewol fango maranola because a tajirante ya sembo wartale fata mitananel be Adama Barrow la do ko nyanta kake minde wala mu kanna institutional reform aya wasa aya lonko mansa ya bukal labang ase la fi nyaaw nyaaka fam forcé katintol kan nate mam boje ala ba bondi laji anu ala ba bondi laji nyaade wala maybe ya siyo e kuntu o na bondi je nin cartel. So these are the things because ite niyo te fam bulo kono bare hadama de nyanta ka wasale woye jare kata kan na constitution o tinya ka maral jawo na tinye pour nga dong fitino kono ka jube ko ite nyanta ka lola for 2031 meaning ko ite ninte Adama Barrow would serve this country sanji muam abe wole maralo kala wol o fango man guarantee folade o sanji muam wala la bandula fa ase continue no le ka fa ngono ma va ngono ma va be continue maybe a dingo wole bina la ka keta fo mu ba futu wole tin toliye ba because Adama Barrow be min ke kan na banko kan nota la nyaw amulu njaw ya tale man needed reform soton na bankoka na near police station ol jube sukuta police station ngamera momi alonka ala fitaka bama ala dula jani tending ye o soronje o sukuta police station o wonyanta keke malolti man sakunda afonka na saji bungo animba bungo wallal fam office ata katambe o police station amunta kon na saji ol nim balu ke la bungo min kon wolege high quality value standards soto katambe sukuta police station muna wo manke malot so ena school dropout je membe siri man sakunda nyato woka motolu pick up olta abe dila dulalla ala birolla abe biroli yelenna so clearly Gambians na jury sol na judge solo at this highest Supreme Court of Public Opinion where tandia lalko Adama Barrow man country hati atela kunkilin na kuobe daming akawalege. This is why ye high quality building or low ko ila biro le world banko la police station ol walu hanin na babu ngol yes high standards at all wo nyine tandiko the only thing min sekeno wala mnyentiko kanyim Adama Barrow bondi akana continue man sayala miyalon tajirante yale be kerin na bankoka bisu nyaro sembo wataji corruption sembo wata mofa sembo wata drug trafficking sembo wata Adama Barrow e mune fo nyem behavior pattern ol ton na bankoka abe deren tugu yeren yendem simply because naka ba damala wodulalto like I said wala tanda ye leadership and integrity Chapter 5 of the draft constitution ya bondi. Katu woye impeccable character. Ay wole nyininka. Ay tamandir nya kendo le nyininka. Mi alonka be seneala. Ay terasratal mustakima siloka. But make no mistake, Gambia. If we sit by nga mutakominko ha nyimu UDP quality, at the end of the day, Gambia will be doomed because Gambia be below the water deck right now. Ndolla fitaka Gambia bondi woleto. Because Gambia doesn't deserve this. For reckless individuals like Dawda Jallow yena fundinan ka maral nya jawotra ya dada moli. It means that the Gambian people will revolt. Mbe revolt lale just like revolution or minketa in Kenya. Min nanaketa in Egypt. Because this is going to kill us. This is going to limit our rights and liberties in our country. This is going to put dictatorial tendency, autocratism, autocratic nature at the wall and natila. And impunity, me alonko it will go unchecked. Na bankoka. So one man yanka continue. Fitino kanju wato munyin watol. That will bring me to my next deliberation. Na leadership. Na alifalu. Walanna Islamic Council and Christian Council. Nyimolo, you see, Adama Barrow and his government are very self-centered, very selfish, very greedy, and imam banko la nyatoje. Make no mistake, mo jama katarajele ko. Eto lataro government wala akendi banko kan hani imam banko kanu. Mo dole be kuku katakuo minke kan wala tambita milbe siring cabinet je. Etolo they are just taking salaries for all I know. Ebeta kan na religious leader lelta ikoike belief indiko altala mulu kan aledi amuye. Puru nyen constitution o e pass. Ite mimu religious leader tibe sirinje. Inyanta ke hakilo tu bak. Fuaria kolengo ibe wole kono. Bata kolengo nyimolu bi le sula tele binaya. Just kunun ko janne ye kila la sunno altol ko allata minna. Ye wole buruka. Islam dino mbeka mimbatu. So ko kila la sunno ye wole fa. Dipitel damma manyin kila la sunno fa. Adama Barrow wole dundiato. The leader of our country. So therefore, munkumane benala miya longo Adama Barrow nala deceptive molu yana ibe munkodile dino la ite marila. Miya longo ibe lano la nyimola. Ka hanatare million le dila. Ede nyanta ka okela poso kono le bari man nyankata ila ko moli aka fo ko al nyin constitution o pat. Nyin constitution o mu mo fa constitution o lete. Nyin constitution o mu bata constitution o lete. Amang Gambia dingol nafa. I mean nafa wala Adama Barrow. Fatuba Barrow. Sajom Balo Barrow. Aning Adama Barrow dingolu. I wol doron ne nafa. Katung Mune akendi sembo be dila Adama Barrow just like a king. Ni ya jame kuyata nyina. Adama ye suman wala nafa na nyanta ka kuyale. Religious leader la plasolta. Mo kumayarim balle malti in society. Kajubeko mimbe kerin na society kono amanyanka kendi nga datika kurpenyol fay alien kanjo. Ku nori ngo nabe kela wala ma la tama watot. Na program dolto nga ku Jamal faje. Ku Jamal beje nyimbanko kay nyanta ka tama bare me ko tam. But at the end of the day, nyim molu miya ae so kilalu ye nate kilala sunno fa e ko bisu latal to lale ha bi alto lebete ata. They will make you believe that coming kwate date o ku okono. But deception olemo. Tonya fo balialemo. At the end of the day, Adama Barrow is the chief brain or architect behind all of this. And that Adama Barrow killing a la constitution of 2020, draft constitution, atele wo introduce, ate mo killing ole ya fa. And again, wale akende wuli ya fola Ceesay Ismaila. It's a disservice to country. It's a disgrace to country. As Ismaila Ceesay is a national embarrassment to family and the cause of good justice in our country. Nta maluta baki. Kaje ko dindi meren mimbe nyinyama. Ase fania fono. Ako atemu PhD political scientist wallet. Na bankoka. Awuli ya fo sembo wat. Adimina finansembo watra. Katung at least ite marila karon before you get all of that. I want to see it. Sign because of to push the agenda for a school dropout. Wale ya kende. Ite la fitaka Gambia dingol fa. Obambete ya. Alenkana wulia fasa. Alenkana fania fasa. Last time nga fole Umar bun jenyolu mambalu nyindaji kasifan. Nsatara pala solto, bare ninga jube not kamol not kamolu tajirante ya kamol bute ning ayatara wole be siala katambi molkam. Mo manyanka songala. Even if that person has to be me. Gambia dingol inyanta tarlale at liberty to be able to say no and to be able to say yes without due unrest. You know? Na daji ka sifal miljen na banko kan nimma wo daji kol falim billah wallahi masibo ben na Gambia banko domola wala kan the religious leader Allah keno fele nyimmolu milkanal kam mo kurungollam ala jawollam annabi jawollam Gambia din kurungollam ite kato ni mari ye sofa bota kabilo min kono ya jawol be nyim bata min kono. It's an untold suffering in the Gambia. Yeah. Yena son nyim maral nya kurungo e murunje amunda ko Gambia ya jamme milla Gambia dingol kan wo mu daman dingol in fact wo mu nenerolti wo mu ko nenolati bari fitina ba fam aturu bado a tonkolen ba wole mu Adama Barrow la nyen draft constitution 2024 amam betea nko na betea tam baby na la sila janga fenke because banku ite mari nyantaka constitution or sotol wole ka banko mara because be near 1997 constitution o jiji masiba balal beje bare nyen constitution o membe na la te pasla because at least a man kata ka sije ka foko simple majority hani woten bi maje e tolka opposition ol mil neng e ko wol manke banku dun kendol de wol manke mo betol de bi sulata wollella wala te hadama de you have to be measured ye fewo femfo e be fewo fem fola wala te mu leaderti wala te mu elected representative e be dawda you need to be measured. Be fele sulata opposition on. Because you need an overwhelming majority. Pour kaje ko nyin draft constitution o pass. Hani sango le jita nam banko kan. Ye molu lande. Bere dingole kan. Nyin constitution te pass la. Ate pass la. Because among Gambia dingolu nafa. Gambia fuharo lan nafate je wole akende UDP as a party will ba reject la and there are many people milia lonko ebe party doluto wol fanam ba reject la simply because nyemu tajirante yaleti amanyanka ken na banko kan andung molu milie sumanga la nyantaka wol prosecute la for treason na banko kan nge kontong la mena no, nge kontong in embara back. You know? Nge kontong back. So, the vent. Bia nata jang. Ka diamali nyinkuo la ka case present alie. On Friday, I will be on Comrade TV. Ka diamo on another talking point. Because in the Gambia, I think mental health, I need to talk about that also. Kato mojama ben na banko ka iman kendea. Ibe tama kan we thinko it all better at bari man kendea people like Ceesay la wulia fonya psychologically near the clinical diagnosis ke bajala ko something is fundamentally wrong in this person. Me alonko either low self-esteem yatarela wala te yeke mote mi alon ko ila maral nya ila tonya fo balia na tambita to a certain threshold you need a professional help, you need a family intervention mili alon ko ibina ka diamwe ismala wulia sifa bele bunta nyimbanko ka you know anda nyon jama dindi merengol mili alon ko e kato kole atema e tolo lafita ka balu banko kan e lafita ka balu banko kan bari e man lafika doku ke taro e bonde wole akende nye woli afo bambalo besiata ne woten Ismaila Ceesay ye dabandingol sang barola nying advisal be melia lonko e beje ye balu haramola anin ku jawba dabanden jamal sang nga dunga nyumol be bulo kon ye do kunde e taro e bo you know haramo e boy balajatol kono maybe se jata kende ya sotono maybe se baluno e tarola bari nyul man la fika dabandengo muta nyul man la fika balu e tarola nyulu wuliya sabo anin batara ya fasa ntenal tolo ntol ko mu fuaro let la fita momi ya lonka be siring fatoto Ane milia lonko ibe sirin toli ya komo farba banta. Ike balu itarolla. Nako ikawala doku. Kunkoli ikawala doku. Anim farolu. Bari. Fuwol nyanta ka kontine o batale kono. Ayatara ko ila life nying. Falindir manke woto. Ito letara batarin dorong. Modolu milia lonko ika salary di wala letara fanka mayare. Ntolko o balu sifa. Wale nyantaka bo Gambia. Everybody should have a fighting chance. Mi alonko survival wo manyanka ke problem oti. La fita wale ke Gambia banko kan. Bari molu jamal ka selfish. Ni tata ibe kuma kangol milfoka. Ni tata mansakunda muta itolka muta lokominko mansakunda nyatonkol. Wale mo alandente. Abe tata nata clinical diagnosis for that is low self-esteem. In a psychology, a psychologist's point of view, Neo Ojube, Mo Dolubije, they are conflicted because Dolubije, Ikasota Roje, Fanamfango Balo Bala Milia Lonko, Mo Dolubukaje, like dysmorphia. You know? Wate ni funtita silokan, Ikamuta kominko, hey, maybe, Ela Kutro Koma Duladole Farata. They are very uncomfortable about their own skin. Low self-esteem. That's why clinically, you need a professional help. Moma nyanka malu, ka jube ka foye kontede, nka fengol lelje. Wala te nka sibole, nka nyinje, tilibula ba nka nyinje. Elusono, dissolusono kanale. Delusono kanale. Doli bije, mari katare faye, ikaje problemo, ika manifest. You should not be ashamed of that. You know? You should not be ashamed. Totally, I agree. UDP government will give Gambia a good start. And like we said, you know, Momo Nata Nyembankoka, whether UDP or anybody, if you don't do right by the people of the Gambia, we hammer you on your head. It's only that, unless and until we do that, we speak truth to power, even if that power is your own very father. Balunya kendo mobe la fita wala wai. But make no mistake, Gambians. Nga daji kaje Gambia banko kam. A masilanta mantara dunia dulato. Nga dulal be tama extensively. From Africa, Europe, Scandinavia, bankol minge tama siya bata konti. But make no mistake, at the end of the day, yena see Gambian olka behavior pattern o me manifest in society. And they say, ni nata Gambian ol fango la competence njube. Dula jama akafuntije, lack of competence. Nyen local government commission ye ku jamale exposed. Mo dolu bije ye ke palasi dolto milia lonko, they are not worth their salt to be in those positions. You know? So Wolman better. Wolman better handamande. Eka moluje ila doku wala sarto mi minti buka keno. So wale akende, fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, na prosecutor na anina juril. In this highest court of public opinion, the vent. Alton lebekela jojod. Adam Barrow doesn't deserve to be given any latitude. Puruka jube nyin constitution oita. Never. Yes, we hope we need a constitution. But we need a constitution that will serve the interests of the Gambian people. Not a single individual. Not me. For everybody. Collectively. Why? Mune Adama Baroka mune sila na Bangkoka. Adama ka mune sila ngai muneke. This is why Nima ma ku ye fengol mil ma accountability wonyantaka kontinela dorong. Walem islamoti. Walem tonyati. So momo besirinje wedete mu dine nyaton quality. Ete ya lonko, you are not immune to what they are about to tell you. Puri yete la molu kang ke dia monde. In fact, wamu yabate balti. ni natal kan afoyle ko altol mu ala jawolti almu annabi jawolti altol mu society jawolati simply because altol yes kila la sunno le fa ngamira al ni chonkatawol ha ali hakilo bulandi wala al kana nyina bare ni e ko di baadi le ko wilita ngadundi warama bako ye nyina o mu si falti. It means that you are killing your generation yet unborn. Mili along ko man na fall. Alinga hakilo to as Gambians. Alinga tapale bula. Tapale of any type, shape and form. Aketa dao da dorong nyantaka kelele. Hana tara monio betulaji bara nyantaka tapale kelele. Tapale kele balia wole mfutande nying alhalo tombe nyame. Wala kendi corruption unfiltered, unchecked corruption ketan na Bangkoka. Adam Barrow buloko sikandarang. Drug trafficking mi alonko ketan na Bangkoka tambita nanela eko banta keta. There is no banta keta in that drug trafficking. Ha. Eko banta keta mansoto. You know? So sundingolu alkabula onoma sumbalu besiring. Ime muta. Banko sifa nyadil. Wole mu fitinoti. Ntala fita religious leader liye. Nyalo wole mu fitinoti. Dina kanai kaltol yab. Ika yabate badande. Ika horomanta yabata nati. Nyingambia la tarde anala seikomo pe. Atata nata. Amang fo alfa kumayarim baluko. Kan na society kono milbe sirinje. And among all Alpha Kumayarim Balu, most notably, Eka Islamic Council, Eka Wallel Kumande, Supreme Islamic Council, and in Christian Council, Nenkuol Boita. To make you people to come to us and make us believe that, ha, nyinemu ala la fasa godi. Hana atara wale mu kila ekuomin sonto. I kondiro keala. Yes, still altol nenga law karamba mume because of the personal interest fending ol mika di alla alle dondika baldung aliena molia. Father Christmas betala etala molia nyi imamol fanal betale la molia iba fole kalinga nyinke. Ala bete mari hambogalale. Kaburo kono. Anu nyin dunia fanam fanga be tenkeren na jannu be futala kaburo kono. Katung ali Gambia batandi. Gambia la bata a be mu collective nyaton ko lelti. Miliala whether they are religious, imamo lamba, sefo lamba, alkalo lamba, ekane kalto lel use as a tool to perpetuate impunity on us. Wole yin Gambia tardendi ase in the com. And altol mum fal lel timmamolu. Dolum baringolum balu. Ikaltol lelta. Ila fuaria kolemo. Ye mimbe kang. Ima bondine kang. Yana $10,000 idira. What is 10,000? Oh, 10,000. For wale jarita bang ala yete juru coming ko hamburger. Katu ye faniale fasa. Ye useless as a tool. Or 10,000 at this trying moment BBB or officiate, but at the end of the day, 10,000 o ye Gambia din jamale batandi. Maral kurumanyin. Falbe son na wala leba religious leaders na imamolu alkalolo sefolu. Adama barola mansakunda fitina mansakundalete. Niye makato bainung ye Gambia la balunya ya sain ya tala. E manyanka si ka fania bafo moli e ko ye excuse Ukraine ning Palestine na kelo o Russia la kelo. That is bullshit, bogus. Molu yemi maral nya kendo soto, molu milie ferol soto, wol ka fere dol lelta, hana tara dula dol sukita ye dula dol bonde na. You know? Nyun le mukumoti mi nyante ka fo. Bar mo jelle ka balu nyin to nya fola. Ise imamul je dolu beje. Ye balu kodo la miya lon ko e famodi yalon ne haramo le be dunka nyin kon. Bari why insulata Allah imamulu. Nsulata Allah Supreme Islam Council. Nsulata Religious is Christian Council la. Puru katonya balunde in Gambia Bangkoka. To be able to say no to authority and leaders when you actually know that what they are making you to do is not at the greater interest of the Gambian people. Wala akenda al balu al torola, al kunkol soto, al talie mechol doku, simply because ninya bela o mecho kang, mote bribe nola. Alinga balun tarola, alinga balu tonya fola. Adama balola mansa kunda mbenga je kabin 2016 tapale anin nambaro anin kuma kalantam fo mbeketa altol be ajale altol ko alako kilako alaman la fi fania fola alaman la fi lahidi tinyalala bari altol imamolo anin Islamic Council anin Christian Council. What category ali Adama Barrow bulandi dami? Mi halon ko ay lahi de bambalo di Gambia bankol. Be pare bi a mawasa a habuta a lafita ka palaso mara for 2031. Imamolu Supreme Islamic Council, Christian Council, aliye mune for water. Womu fiti knowledge. Let them not make you believe. Ka foko constitutional ay nyanto satalakat abemu deception already abemu fania foleti ni la fita ka molu number ka molu filindi e ka nyim fania sifal nati ntol denni ngol al barinde ngol al mama ringolu nko ali fanyo sifalla. You should not be an accessory to impunity, bad governance and bad rulership in our country. Amanyankake. Amanyankake. They are very good religious leaders. However, barring a Muslim menje, kabrin 1994 for signing. Minketa nabankoka nga manfo alkode alfalu. Minketa nyembankoka nyembankola tarde minketa jang amanfo aliko. Why can't you change and make things right by us? Kajube maral kurungo manyanka kontinent na bankoka. Nga lonne suta tili binala liale. Dolu be sisa dimba politically kala alla kamani botol didu alla suto kono. Baro o mani boto fo nyanta kete sambale fo faw. La hidi jamal lal tinyata nyembanko kan. O la hido la tinya wole Gambia sayindi nyin komate. Yena kam maral kurungo dada miya lonko abe Gambia tinya lale. Fo ite imamu, ite Supreme Islamic Council, ite Christian Council nyatonko. Ibe la fila o sifa lale bang. Idingol wolfana nafita chance lale. Miya lonko ise imbanko marano wai. I get very, 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 very much petrified. Ning ayatara nsita nga daji kol jeng na Bangkoka. Mo dantan no milia lonko, they are not worth their salt. Wole na ye julo sitting kamoda. I can believe niko hani he nye manke julo ti de. Nye mufen koleti. Necktie oleti. Alin kana so wola. Religious leader ngal bunya ngal horoma. Imamolu, sefolu, alkalolu. Albe alon ne fuari mimbala tundol kono. Bila wala alon ne. Nko ete mari kunkilin na kilon. Ndolla kombo fa babanta. Sefo bakari sanya nyanta ka lonneko. Faraba dingolo, they deserve better than that. Because ate mamanyolo, mumunyolo. Minkata fature sanya nyol, mamu tako nyol, fature sanya nyol, sekuba sanyang. Fo anatake ate bakari sanyante. Wolu, Komofa Babanta is beyond only these people nga milfo. Ning ayatara ite Komofa Babanta, ite bakari sanyan na life be bettering. The vast majority of people living in Fababanta, whether ibota kayaring olto, ibota Woinkakunda, ibota Bajonkoto, ibota Tobacco Road. You know? and fo ibota dula nya dawda beji ni la balu nya mam falen amonta ko sefo bakari sanyam te kontan nola nyanta ka bo nyin ba futia balia politique tole na jeko nanga politique nyachi ka miya lonko abenna life balundila ayna life enhance ni man enhancement o je la balu nya kono e man nyanka kuke wala ya kendi. There is 1 point left a minfola before I go because I'm almost over 2 hour mark here. Wala mnyente ko nyim so-called cross-carpeting here and there. I don't buy that idea. I'm a Democrat. I believe in the wealth, the value of representation. But wo nabekela, it's a marry, you choose where you want to belong. But from the onset, ngamol jele de noko, they are on the side of the wrong camp. Milia lonko there, ebe ku jawal kekang, hani bi be wol kuol fasala drum. So, to me, nying cross-carpeting here and there, back and forth, it's just bogus to me as far as I'm concerned. Because the same people over and over will like a recycle. And these are the same people who are self-serving from one camp to another. They are looking for personal interest. Nima waljeno ya boje eta adula adodo. Omudaji ka kurumulati. When you join a political party, you have to believe in the party principle and ideologies. Nima wal believe the right ala taroje. Muna wati NPP, what is their party principle and ideology? What is their manifesto? So at the end of the day, molu milka bojang, yetajang. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I am not celebrating anybody. I am not. Because it's just going to be all wine in new bottle. The same tactic. And Gambia deserves a chance whereby Gambia need a rebirth. Gambia need a recalibration, a rejuvenation, and then Gambia reconsider. Make so at the end of the day, Gambia needs to be better than this. But because of corrupt politicians, corrupt imams, corrupt Christian father Christmases, and corrupt elderly statesmen, Milben society will contribute to the retardation of the Gambia. Abe, atata anata, only for vested interests. Manyanka sawala. Imam beji, safe beji. Ete mari you senior community. Jebe tinyarem for tinya danta daming. Man samal hati man fenkal. Lunkili na 10,000 dila o 10,000 yamune fenke. Al kana ta alla community ilkang ka foeko man sa konga ketengan kete. Atarete ma wola o kuofam kunna fejoyo. Bari mbemim folali. Nying Adama Barrow constitutional. Omu masiba constitutional. Masibo dunde muman la fi wola kodi. Wola ya kende mbenga nyaku ya fe. Maral nya kurung kangol wollel beji. Maral kendo bedame wolen 2020 das constitution. Million tang ani woro ye wala dundidi. Hane nimman ku fango jube fam. Bari o taxpayer alla tax kodo million tang ani woro nyanta ka o makato bay. O fango damma nyanta ka kende ngata murung ngata 2020 draft constitution ota. Fetino lem nyente imamul. Fetino lem nyente sefolo alkalolo anen religious council mimbe keren ka mol nene kataka constitution o dadaite ni mo dantan damma. Imatan de Gambia dingol. Fa woltem fitinol. Me pare ka al commande ko fitinol bentol oppositionol ning mansa tema. Al nim mansa manyan kasifa. Mansa ya la sunno le fa. Kila la sunno. O kuya nyanta ka mele de. O kuya nyanta ka me al ning Adama Barrow temale. Amanke dipitel dammale nyimfa because they have the order from Mr. Adama Barrow. So kuluro mimbe lala je wala mnyentiko. Islamic Council be la nyokan. yela molla tundol to e diamo ka jube ko mbenga karte fay against this madness mimbe kere Gambia bankoka ka Adama Barrow bonde. On that note, friends of the Gambia and fellow Gambians, aning na jury solu na prosecutolu anin na joji solu altol mimbe jube role on the program The Vent. Nyelle mukoti nyantaka mingi. Mbadan dilajang. On Friday, I'll be on Comrade TV to talk on something else. I'll be invite alienaje. But in the banko, anyanta tarla tilingola kan siratal mustaqima tilo. Silo. Manyang kanyo nene je kotenk. Ha. So Adama Barrow dung ay mintan de Gambia dingola wala wasabalia. Wasabalia Gambia dingola ya bunya ya horoma. Ya bonde fuari ya kolon kono. Ya sambana ya fanka mayandi bari biya jututa Gambia dingola. O jutun na ya nyantaka makato baile nga kuluru la je mi ya lonko Adama Barrow fang balon. Ando nyimanke nyo bayindit. Beren jawra botaje Commission of Inquiry le lota. Bere ya jamme botaje Commission of Inquiry le lota. Ning Adama Barrow botaje the same thing wale belola. Molu mili nota nye sorong in 2x2 cell. Including Mr. Adama Barrow. Because nyimbe tata nata maral nya no balia lemu. Anin keku no balia wole ya beno fom futata nying alhalo. Ni wote ni moye kujawoke. Ika kuluro le lakan ka tandiko. Yenyin corruption o minke modo kan isumangala. But Adama Barrow is a promoter of corruption in our country. Wale akendin tenal tolbe. Nyantambulo di la nyola. Nga dandirike nyinkola. Anene kana ken na banko kam kote. Not only for us. But in tol dengol benala. Mamaringol benala. You know. Wolfanan they deserve a chance whereby benala Gambia to. Ye Gambia soto miya alonko. Imatara jolobe Gambia. Abe kela ko Gambia hane ni tate fata be jolole kelela kaburoto. It means ko julole bele ma minjono, so therefore inate ye la kaburo lock and in jolole. Muna umanke masibot. Anyway, on that note, friends of the Gambia, na juril na prosecutolu on the Vent, the highest Supreme Court of Public Opinion. On Friday, I'll send Comrade official. We continue the conversation there. Allah barakapake. And sa ABC, United States of America.